Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Liverpool against Brighton. Now, we're not one of those fan channels. We do technical analysis to try to help you become either a better football player, a better coach, or maybe a better understanding about a game of football. So right now, you can see in this Liverpool midfield that there is a problem. There has been for a couple of weeks. And if you get this pass right and there's a little bit of movement, you can tear Liverpool apart. I noticed this back in the Chelsea game, if you want to go look at, back at that. And you can see this. So right here, here's the pass right here. I think this is for the goal, but I'll give you a couple of examples in this game. When these four players are a little bit too high or there isn't enough little pressure on the ball, they are very, very easily to be got at through the midfield here. A simple pass in, turn, and then there is nobody stopping them whatsoever. There's no one even close to actually pressuring the ball. So as soon as you, not just the initial press, it's a little bit of a misnomer when I say that, because one of the Liverpool midfielders always seems to be kind of caught out when they do this, because they go with four, leaving two back. The problem with the two back is, as you can see, they aren't in a position because they're covering a side of the field and they're not in the middle of the field. The advantage you have when you're in the middle of the field is you can always close, right? So if you're in the middle of the field, you can always get there. But if you're on the side and you're stepped up a little bit too far, which they have in this case, because he really wants to be about there, if he's back here properly, he can actually pressure the ball quite nicely. But if you go a little bit too far forward, you're dunzos, and they can just turn and break on you. I'm going to show you a couple of little examples in this game, but let's just carry on and show you this goal. So here we are. He's looking for that through ball, because this is what they did against Chelsea did against Liverpool for Jackson's goal. It was that simple. Ball straight in, uncontested midfielder, straight in behind and off to the races just to see what they can do. Now, this ball wasn't in behind there, as you can see. They dropped it in here, kind of like a bad touch. Cut inside here, which isn't bad. Okay, that's not too bad. Sort of slowed down the counter attack or the transition, if you want to call it. But that dangerous through ball is so easy to be played against Liverpool. Straight in, and again, think about the two midfielders. When they're like this and the ball's received here, perfect, they can challenge. But when one of them gets a little bit too high on either side, it leaves them completely exposed, and you can get into them really easy. Now, obviously, Brighton still have a lot of work here to go and to score this goal. But we can see there's a player could be dangerous out here. And I want to. I actually watched a little bit of this game, and I'm telling you, Trent always gets a bad rap of being a terrible defender, but defensively, he's pretty solid under slot. He doesn't let people get past him. He doesn't really that exposure for Liverpool isn't really there. It's really in that middle area that they have a bit of a problem. But let's just play this on and show you what Brighton. As I showed you, that player completely unmarked on the side. He ends up getting the ball, receiving it. Trent's doing a nice run, actually properly defending. Oh, look, he's not running towards the ball. He's blocking off the area, then going towards it. That's what you want to do. You don't run straight towards the ball. Let me just get rid of those so I can show you why. You don't run straight towards the ball. You curve your run ever so slightly, so you take that little bit of space away so you can actually make the defender go where you want them to go, not where they want to. But you can start seeing the overloads happening here. Also, the midfielders are really zoned in on the ball and no one is paying any attention to these guys here on the back post. Again, we're just going to have a little bit of a clip just to show you. Look, here we go. Ghosting in, watching the ball, never turns and looks to see if someone's there. Kostas Tsimikas never turns and looks to see if someone's coming in behind him or ghosting in behind. They just keep watching the ball. Do we see that? Watching the ball, not really paying attention to anybody coming in. And that's not marking as far as I'm concerned. He needs to be a little bit tighter or a little bit deeper, because if this ball's played anywhere over here, he's got no chance of defending it at all. Absolutely none. It's okay when the ball's over there, but as soon as that ball starts moving, yeah, he's in a problem situation, because if he pulls up, he's not really offside because everyone else is playing him on. If he's back properly, it's okay because now he's marking the guy, but also he puts himself in a situation where he might be the one pressuring the ball because he's too far off the player, which will open up the player again, and we'll go on and on. But this is what we want to look at here. Watch this guy. He's making the run coming in, and this is kind of what I mean about Kostas, right? So now he's in a situation where that ball's been knocked off. It's been dinked. He's going to overpressure it. Watch. As he goes to overpressure it, he can't really, because he really shouldn't have been there. He should have been on the other side, just where I pointed out in the first place, just kind of marking the space. The space is dangerous, right? And that way he would have read the pass and actually been able to cut it out. He didn't. He was on this weird curved pressure like that and couldn't get close to the ball. course, this midfielder here, absolutely nowhere near it, not even paying much attention as the Brighton player ghosts in on the back post. Left back still recovers though, and it's just a nice decent shot. Bosh, bosh, into the back of the net. Quality finish. Liverpool go 1-0 down. But let's show you another one of those little transitions where they're punished through that midfield because it's so exposed. Here we go again. Simple but effective. Liverpool have gone too far forward again. Now this is just a run into the space. Instead of actually being in the space to receiving the ball is played into the space and the player goes there. When should they arrive? That's a trick question. Before or after the ball? At the same time. So they made that nice little run at the same time into that pocket of space. As I've showed you, Liverpool's midfielders now can't contest this pass. Look at how much acres of space is. This is a better example of showing you how broken the system is. When 4 people go, these 2 are too far exposed. They can't really go, and this pocket of space is huge. So now all he has to do is pick his pass. 1, 2, 3, and that's where he's playing his pass. There you can see he's exposed. The through ball's gone through. Dosh goes to Van Dijk. I don't know who's in goal for Liverpool because I know it's not Alisson. Goes through, gets a chance to score. Doesn't because the keeper saves it. But again, you can see that massive pocket of space where nobody can pressure when those Liverpool 4 go forward and don't win the ball. Let's get on to the Liverpool goal, shall we? Now, this isn't really a good goal, but I do love goals like this. I'm a big fan of when you're crossing here, just make sure it gets on target because it'll creep into the goal. And this occasion it does. But I'm going to highlight you something, a problem in the middle here, because that's what we do here. We show you things that you can fix so you don't make these mistakes. Look at that. Darwin Núñez is unmarked. You've got 2 centre-backs here, and they have a little bit of a look. They think about it. Watch this as it goes. Look, there we go. They're thinking about it. Well, no, not even looking as it starts to go forward. And you've got a runner coming in from Trent here as well. Now, I do believe Núñez... it's kind of weird because this defender here touches the ball and he takes it off Núñez's head. Otherwise, he probably is getting himself a goal. But from a defensive point of view, you cannot have both centre-backs not marking their centre-forward. I don't care if you think he's going to score or not score. It's bad practice. You make a mistake one week, then you do it again next week, and suddenly it becomes the normal practice of letting their strikers be completely unmarked. Just before this ball comes in, though, Núñez starts to make a move. The defender has a little look at him, but watch this little bit of a move here. Boom, goes behind him. He takes his eye off him for a second. Núñez immediately exploits it and starts making the run in behind his back. That's actually really good. Really good. Poor defending. Little good bit of striker play there. Sneaking in behind the defender, making the defender panic as the cross comes in. When the ball's finally played in, here she is right here, floating in. Right. Darwin Núñez has made a brilliant little run off the back of the defender. Doesn't need to get the touch because the defender here does. He gets the first touch. Misses Darwin. He takes his eye off the ball, actually, to be honest. And it just flicks in to the bottom corner. And Liverpool get themselves an equaliser. Let's get on to the winner. It starts off with Curtis Jones running off through the midfield. But you've got to remember this saying that I say all the time is space is dangerous. So you've got to identify where the space is, where the danger is, and go from there. Right, so you know the transition. So the space is behind you. That's the dangerous part. Then we think about where the ball is and can we shut the get more players around and less space where the ball is. I always talk about those little games if you've ever played them. You know the ones with the let's see if I can do these properly. You know, those little boxes and you've got all the little shapy things and that one's blank and you've got to shuffle all these round to make a picture. But that one's the space. So if you shuffle the squares, the space is obviously there and that's what you don't want to have. There's a reason I'm saying that because as we're breaking forward here, you can see that this space is starting to unfold here. And we don't want that to happen with Mo Salah, right? Because there was a little bit of a ball play here, knocked back to Curtis Jones, and now the space is opened up on this side of the field. We can see that these extra players over here, well, but the ball's on this side. So this is the space that we need to close. We need players now to get over here. If we're Brighton, we need to shut down this space on this side over here. That's what we want to happen. We need to be able to get somebody over here as fast as possible. So when this ball is played, you can see Curtis Jones has played it down here. This guy, instead of running, he was about here, this way, he's run behind the Liverpool player. Do we see that? So this space is now opening up. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Can they shut it down or do they make it bigger? And we've got a gap fault emerging in here as well at the same time. So when Salah receives this ball, oh sorry, is it Salah? Yes, it was Mo Salah. So yeah. He's not going to go and beat you on the outside with his right foot and then try to shoot right foot in the corner. You know he's going to cut back into this space here. So can you get rid of this space by the time it gets down to the 18-yard box, or do you continue to make this space bigger? That's what you've got to try to think in real time as this is happening, as it goes. Look at the size of the space now. This player, he could have come across and tracked at any moment. He would have maybe been about there. Do we see the difference? He wouldn't be there. He would be there. And what happens if Mo Salah cuts in? He may be able to challenge, but he's not. He's helped open up this massive space here for Mo Salah. And, well, Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does. Now, you can look at how much space that those two pockets now have been combined together and given all of that room for Mo Salah. And all you really wanted was this guy not to track the player, just to be about there. Is he going to win the ball? Maybe not, but is he going to put Mo Salah off? Maybe. And that's about all you can hope to do with Mo Salah as he bends it into the top of the net box and scores himself a worldie. Well, Liverpool are pushing forward. Title's going to be interesting this year, boys and girls. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.